Well, Lukey Bolland's off chatting with the humanoids, trying to make himself into the big star that he thinks he is because of Monday Night Wrestling. Rise or fall, you know, it was an okay show. Jimmy Payne unfortunately lost to David Storm, which is disgusting, but what disgusts me the most is that Rise or Fall was lacking a certain thing. I mean, it had incredible wrestling, it had a new champion, it had some of the best matches you'll see in Australian wrestling, but what it didn't have is Nate Dooley, and that...
What are you doing?
I didn't get to be on the show, man. I just thought I could make it onto the recap.
I do this thing. It's what I do.
Can I do it with you?
That sounds dirty and not very pleasing to me. Ladies and gentlemen, Rise or Fall, big night. My name's Lukey Bolland, reporting for EPWPerth.com. That was Nate Dooley. He wasn't on the show, and that's probably why it was so awesome. And those are drunk people. They're pretty cool sometimes too. Let's talk about the night that was Rise or Fall. We kicked it off in spectacular style. We hit the ground running with this one. David Storm going one-on-one with Jimmy Payne. Two former EPW champions showing them how we do it here in Perth. They took it to each other. Of course, David Storm with a point to prove, coming off a loss to Jimmy Payne in their best 2 out of 3 falls at Reawakening. But tonight, Storm was on fire. It was David Storm who walked away with the victory. Next up in action, Drake Wallace and Ferguson Block taking on the tag team of Chase Griffin and Dan Moore, the whole reffin' show. These 4 men certainly have had their history over the past few months. Drake Wallace and Ferguson Block just taking exception to the fact that Chase and Dan are even put in the same league as them. Chase and Dan weren't going to lie down without a fight. They really took it to their opponents until some dastardly tactics from Drake Wallace and Ferguson Block assisted them in walking away the victors. Then came a big moment. It was the All-Star Brad West announcing his #1 draft pick for 2008. Of course, his #1 draft pick for 2007 was that jerk Penn Hero. We don't like to talk about him. Tonight it was Alex Kingston stepping in the ring against Brad West's #1 draft pick, and he was none other than Sebastian Sander. Who, you say? Well, he's a devastating individual. Have a look at this footage as we just see him pulverizing Alex Kingston. However, Sebastian Sander just had that raw power as he defeated Alex Kingston with a big jackhammer. Then a 3-way matchup, Shane Hayes, Richter, and Devlin Reeves, with Brett Corvus announcing that the loser would be suspended indefinitely from EPW. These men did whatever they could to stop that from happening. Richter threw Shane Hayes all the way to the outside floor. Devlin Reeves hit a big package pile driver on Richter. Somehow Richter kicked out. These guys kept it coming full force until Richter delivered a massive choke slam to Devlin Reeves and scored the 1-2-3. So unfortunately, because Brett Corvus has the power, Devlin Reeves is now indefinitely suspended from EPW. Let's hope he'll be back soon, but I gotta tell you, Brett Corvus can be a very petty man, and he might keep Devlin Reeves out of action for quite some time. Then in action, the EPW champion, Bobby Marshall, who's still refusing to show the title, took on all the way from South Australia, Damien Slater. Damien Slater certainly had a point to prove. It's been a while since he's been here in Western Australia, and he really came back on a mission tonight. He wanted to defeat the EPW champion and hopefully score himself a title match for the EPW belt. However, Bobby Marshall, after a furious battle with Damien Slater, delivered a big scissor kick over the top and scored the 3 count. Then the EPW tag team belts were on the line. It was the new champions, the European Union, taking on the former champions, the Fighting Hellfish. This time, an even 2-on-2 matchup. Johnny Wimbledon still out of action. These men were having an evenly paced matchup, and it looked like FN Carnage and CJL, we're going to get the belts back around their waist after a big shotgun elbow drop. FN Carnage was on fire. Then, out of nowhere, the bell gets rung, not by the referee, but by the European Union. While the confusion is going on and they're trying to figure out what's happening, Pizzanopoulos slips Don the bell, and the Don nails CJL right between the eyes with a vicious bell shot. And then they scored the victory. So still, your EPW Tag Team Champions, the European Union. Then in the main event, the NWA Australian Champion Mikey Nichols took on the #1 contender, as decided on Monday Night Wrestling, Hartley Jackson. What can I say about this matchup but brutal? These two men really beat the hell out of each other. They beat each other to a bloody pulp, and I'm not just saying that. Have a look at the footage there. You can see both men dripping with blood from the forehead. Hartley Jackson hit Mikey with a Mikey kick. Mikey hit Hartley Jackson with a Death Valley driver, but nothing could get the job done. And then out of nowhere, Mikey went for his signature cross body from the top rope. Hartley Jackson rolled through. 1, 2, 3. If I didn't see it with my own eyes, I wouldn't believe it. We have a brand new NWA Australian champion in Hartley Jackson. That's right. If you weren't here, man, you missed out on one massive show, but that's okay, because we got another huge show coming up, our second biggest show of the year, Evolution. So big, it can't be contained by just one night. It's over 2 big nights, Friday and Saturday, the 16th and 17th of May 2008 at the Venville Center. It is gonna be massive. All your favorite EPW stars in action. You have to be there. Tickets through ticketek.com.au. Check it out. It's gonna be a massive 2 nights of wrestling. See you there. My name's Lukey Bolland, reporting for EPWPerth.com. I'll catch you here ringside.